Hey, this is Pesti, founder of the Elite Gaming channel, and I wanted to make a quick video letting you know about our esports schedule for AoE 4 during December and January. Now, that calendar you're looking at now for December and January basically rounds up all the stuff that we're going to be doing, but I'm going to be getting into more detail, telling you about these events and explaining what they're going to look like, and in general going through EGC's plans for the future, recapping Genesis, the first ever S-tier AoE 4 tournament, and just talking a bit about the future of Age of Empires 4 as an esports. So, some very exciting stuff going to be announced in this video, or at least stuff that's been announced very recently that you might not have heard of yet. Do bear with me and we're going to get there. Of course, in general, always appreciate feedback. So let me know in the comment section if you like this kind of content, just occasionally, maybe once a month, letting you see behind the scenes a bit more, understand the stuff that we're doing and our thoughts on the scene in general and plans for the long-term future within it. Let's begin though with a quick recap of Genesis. Now, for any of you living under a rock, Genesis was a $20,000 first ever major for Age of Empires 4. It was taken down by the Viper, arguably, well, pretty easily arguably, the greatest Age of Empires player of all time. Now, I was honestly pretty blown away by the reaction to this event. I think it's fair to say the viewing figures told the story of a massively popular and successful esports tournament, but I'm happy to share with you some of those numbers in a video for the first time so you can see for yourselves and get an idea of what I believe is some pretty significant potential for this game. The viewing figures for Genesis peaked at about 68,000 concurrent live views and averaged a pretty staggering 45,000. To give some context, of the 157 Age of Empires events tracked since 2018, Genesis actually had the highest ever average viewership and the third highest peak viewership, coming in just behind Wololo 5 and Hidden Cup for two hugely successful Age of Empires 2 events. Now, granted, there are going to be plenty of people out there believing that this is mainly a matter of early hype and that the numbers will eventually settle down and decline as the early hype of AoE 4 declines. Me, well, I disagree personally, and I think that Age of Empires 4 is heading for an extremely bright future as an esport, and there are a number of reasons that I believe this. The main reason, however, is that I think AoE 4 represents a unique opportunity to be the new home of RTS players from across the genre. One of the amazing things about Genesis is that it saw players from Age of Empires 2, StarCraft, Age of Mythology, Age of Empires 3, Warcraft, Age of Empires Online, and other games finally competing in one title on a level playing field. Now, don't get me wrong, I respect and appreciate other RTS games, for example Age of Empires 2. A game doesn't endure such popularity for 20 years unless it's good. I just think that AoE 4 in particular represents a special opportunity to grow a new, massive esports scene that simultaneously attracts players from across the genre but also brings new players into the fold. And with that, let's move on to talking about some of our upcoming plans for Age of Empires for the esport. Now, first of all, we've got the Winner Stays On series that many of you may be familiar with if you've been watching this channel. This is a new concept in which the winner of a weekly show match will earn $500, but not only that, but additionally the right to play a new challenger every week until they lose. So you can theoretically put together unlimited win streaks, keep that going, rack up those $500 wins as new challengers keep coming and you keep batting them away. Now, not only is that worth $500 and the right to stay on, but if somehow someone can put together a win streak of 10, we're going to throw in an extra $2,500. And if they can put a win streak of 20 together, no matter how improbable, we will throw away a $10,000 bonus, bringing their winnings after 20 weeks to $22,500. Now, the first match happened last week where Marine Lord took down Probe 4-1 in a match in which there were some very, very close games. and he earned the right to play a new challenger next week. Unfortunately, we couldn't proceed this week because of the balance patch and how significant it was, but tune in on the 7th of December at 6 p.m. GMT to watch Marine Lord facing a new challenge. Next, we've got the Continental Clash, an event happening on the 8th of December. Now, the Continental Clash is going to be a 4-team event that will basically include, well, not basically, which will include 8 players representing 4 different regions that we've tried to balance based on, as much as we could, based on talent right now in Age of Empires 4. So the competing regions will be the Americas, Europe, Asia, and Oceania, which somewhat surprisingly perhaps has a huge amount of talent for a small region. Those 4 regions will be playing a format in which they will match up in 1v1 matches with the potential for 2v2 deciders. Now, this event is a little bit more focused on fun than some of our other events and a little bit less pure esports competition. But the winning team is going to take back $1,000 each, not something to be sniffed at. Following on from that, I can announce something much more new that was just released yesterday on stream, so maybe it's the first time you're hearing of it. But we're going to then move into the Winter Series. Now, the Winter Series is going to be 3 separate tournaments, each involving 64 players. They're going to take place on the 15th and 16th of December, the 4th and 5th of January, and the 11th and 12th of January. The tournaments are going to be worth $2,000, $2,000, and $3,000 respectively, so $7,000 in total. And the top ranking players in these events are also going to get ranking points for our Winter Championship, an event that I'm about to move on to and tell you about shortly. Now, these events are going to be qualified for and seeded for in a number of different ways, including, at the beginning, the 8 players that made the Genesis main event, as well as a number of spots from the ranked ladder. So we've got that first event coming on the 15th and 16th of December. Now is the time to start grinding that ladder because there are going to be some very lucrative spots in this series available. As much as it's possible in the future, we're going to look at different ways of seeding and ranking players when it comes to our events, as well as taking into account past tournament performances. That said, in these early days, we are, of course, somewhat limited in the options available to us, and for all of its flaws, which of course do exist with using the rank ladder, it still seems to us to be just about the fairest way, in the meantime, of making sure that those that have the ability to participate are able to do so. We hope that you're excited about these events. They're going to be able to provide some really exciting content, but most of all, we can let you know that we're going to keep all these events for open broadcast. I say all these events, I mean the Winter Series events, of course, not the Winner Stays On, but the Winter Series events are going to be totally open broadcast, meaning whoever you most like watching cast games will be allowed to fire up and cast them for you. We're hoping they're going to bring a lot of attention. We're going to get some new names and figures involved. 64 players is quite a lot for a main event, so it's definitely going to give an opportunity for some interesting newcomers to really perform and make a big splash. Now, all of this is, of course, the proverbial start to the main course of our winter action, which is going to be the Winter Championship of Age of Empires 4. A $20,000 S-tier event. Going to be the 3rd ever S-tier event for Age of Empires 4, following on from Genesis and the Steel Series Prime Cup. There are going to be a number of ways that players can qualify for this tournament, but the most important is going to be through the previously mentioned Winter Series. Now, in each of these Winter Series events, the top 32 players are going to accumulate ranking points based on their finishing position. The top 32 seeds in the Winter Championship are all going to come from the Winter Series, meaning they're going to be hugely important for guaranteeing those top seeding positions. We will also be using the Genesis results for 8 of those positions, as well as 8 positions for the finalists of the Steel Series Prime Cup, because it's the only other S tier event. And then finally, just to make sure that anyone that has not had an opportunity through the other qualification mechanisms does get their shot to make it into the Winter Championship, we're going to host a totally open qualifier on the 21st of January, which is a Friday. So anyone that's not managed to qualify through the Winter Series or the Steel Series Prime Cup or Genesis, or a few positions that will be from the rank ladder, will be able to throw their hat into the open qualifier. I'm extremely excited about this event. I think it shows, or I hope to you it looks like it shows, a significant commitment to this game. And I think it's going to be incredibly exciting to see these great players back in action. Now, I can also use this platform to announce that this event too will be open broadcast, meaning you don't have to come and watch it on Elite Gaming Channel's Twitch, although we will try to bring you the very best casting talent. You can watch this event with whichever caster you most prefer, whether in English or any other language. Now, all in all, from November through the end of February, these events, the Winter Championship, the Winter Series, the Winner Stays On, the Continental Clash, and Genesis represent a commitment of over $53,000 in prize money. We hope that excites you. We hope we're playing our part to make Age of Empires for the next major RTS esport. And we certainly think it's a really exciting few months approaching. I can tell you that we've got even bigger plans in the future. This is only going to be the beginning, not the end. And we're certainly hunkering down and planning even bigger events in the future and are extremely excited for what 2022 is going to look like in this game. Now, I'd love to hear your thoughts on videos like this. Do you like more behind the scenes kind of esports, I don't know, almost podcasty-esque videos, talking about the kind of stuff that we're going to be doing, discussing viewing numbers and the details of our events? I guess I'll see whether or not people like this kind of content before deciding whether to do it in the future. It's certainly something that I'd like to put together at least once a month, giving you a glance into what we're doing. I'm also happy to do more kinds of content like this, talking in more detail about EGC and our plans, so just let me know in the comments section if that's something you're interested in. Finally, I get asked a lot how people can help EGC or contribute or make sure that more big events happen in Age of Empires 4. And honestly, the main way is not that dissimilar from how you would support any other content creator. Obviously, subscriptions on Twitch and donations for our casters and anything else is always appreciated, but nothing is more appreciated than spreading the word, subscribing on YouTube, clicking that little bell. These are the metrics that really help us. They give us the confidence to continue investing in this game and investing in major events. So if you're thinking about ways to help out, just have a little look at that subscribe button, consider clicking it, consider watching the replays of our events and seeking them out. Ultimately, when you as an audience are enjoying our content and deciding to consume it, it enables us to continue investing in creating that content. Guys, that's it for now. I hope you're excited about the future. I hope you're excited about all the stuff we've got planned for this year. I will hopefully be seeing you again sometime in a stream soon, but for now, take care.